All right, hey, guess what? Welcome to Straight Up. So we are on. We are broadcasting live via 107.1 FM on the bandwidth in beautiful Guyana, Georgetown, and the outskirts of Guyana. And for those of you who are catching us via social media, whether Facebook or YouTube, good evening to all, every single one of you. Spread the word that we are on. Um, Live and direct on this beautiful, what is it, Wednesday evening on the 24th day of November 2021. We'll be right back with Straight Up.
It's an eco-friendly Christmas. The Guyana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union is pleased to present our annual Christmas promotion, commencing November 1st, 2021 and concludes December 17, 2021. The credit union recognizes and acknowledges the importance of minimizing our carbon footprint and has tailored this year's promotion to suit by presenting our members with an electric car and bikes, which will undoubtedly raise awareness and help our members to adopt. To participate, one must be a member of the Guyana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union, must like and follow the credit union's Facebook page, must have an existing loan with the credit union, must be in good standing with the credit union, must not be an immediate family member of any staff or committee member, must earn a gross of less than $150,000 monthly, and proof of this fact must be attached. And only one coupon is allowed per member. It's an eco-friendly Christmas.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
If you are looking to have your statutory declaration, affidavit of income, identity, damage or lost passport, lost license, tenancy agreement, agreement of settlement, power of attorney, last will and testament, and certification of documents, then you need to visit the Alistair Collins firm, located at the Killian Mall, 162 Lamaha Street in Georgetown, between Camp and Waterloo Street. Alistair Collins is a commissioner of oaths and a justice of the peace. Make certain you visit him or call for more information at 649-6410 or 685-6448 or 503-1451. And there's adequate parking available. Go down to the Alistair Collins firm and have all of your legal issues settled and brought to the fore. Alistair Collins firm. Contact them at Alistair Collins firm.
Hello, this is attorney Shellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington Law Firm, located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you. So call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.
All right, hey, guess what? I was running late. Indeed. Can't beat around the bush, can't lie to you guys, but I was really, really late for the program this evening. And here it is. We are live and direct. And that young man on the screen is Sean Pike, still languishing in a prison in Moscow, Russia. Not because he committed any crime. He's not a criminal or anything of the sort, nothing close to that. He's just a Jehovah's Witness. And as a result of that, the authorities in Russia has been rounding Jehovah's Witnesses up and locking them, jailing them up. Sean Pike is, his next court appearance is sometime in January, maybe the 20th or the 21st. And thus far, we have not heard anything, absolutely nothing, from the regime, the installed regime in Guyana, neither anything at all from the opposition. nothing at all. Well, we can understand not hearing anything from the PPP installed regime. But what is not understandable is the fact that the coalition opposition has been quiet, very quiet about this particular issue. Now, they might want to say that they have been doing something quietly, and that's what people do when they want to run away from any sort of responsibility. But the truth of the matter is they have not been doing anything at all. That's the opposition. And shame on the opposition. Forget about the regime, PPP. We know what they are capable of doing and what they're not capable of doing. But one of the things that the PPP wouldn't do is fight for the release of this young man who is sitting amongst convicted prisoners in a filthy jail cell in Russia right now, leaving his family behind. I hope that good sense will prevail and the authorities in Russia will let him go along with others. Because in the year 2021, it is unacceptable for any government, wherever they are in this world, for any government to jail somebody because of their religious belief. It is unacceptable. It is a human rights violation. And the government of Russia should exercise great degree of compassion and let these individuals go. I have been speaking with some folks behind the scene who are familiar with this particular matter. They are pleased with the release of one other Jehovah's Witness in Russia and couple others, as a result of a high court ruling there in Russia, which I think it was sometime late last month. The High Court of Russia ruled that it is unconstitutional to lock these individuals up, that is Jehovah's Witnesses, to lock them up because they have been caught praying. Now, how would you lock somebody up because they are praying? Now, suppose I was in Russia and I prayed and I held your hands, and you guys know we love to pray on this show, right? Suppose that's the case. And so the authorities in Russia, once you do that and you're a member of the Jehovah's Witness faith, they will lock you up. Some of you might argue, well, you can't go in the people's country and violate the people's laws. Now, what sort of thing is that you guys are finding this acceptable, that the Russian authority is locking people up because of their religion? And almost all of those people in authority in Guyana, again, including the opposition and including some of you on this show, that I've seen some comments to the effect, well, then they should obey the laws. You obey laws that are dictatorial. You obey laws that are violating the rights of citizens. I don't know. How would you like, if you were in Russia, practicing your religion, whatever it is, be it Muslim, Islam, be it Hindu, or be it any other form of Christianity, to be locked up, or whatever religion you practice, to be locked up because you decide to practice your religion? And then some of you would say, oh, it's the law. Respect the law. I don't know. I can't respect such a law at all. I just can't respect such a law. Keith W. Williams, Keith W. is saying that he was practicing Christian while he lived in Moscow. We had to change venues every week. You see, this is just how it is. It is unacceptable. And so we here on 107.1 FM, we're calling on the authorities in Guyana to speak out on this issue, to register their concern about this issue and the jailing of this young man who is a Guyanese. No one in Guyana, in authority that is, seem to care. No one. Even those, as I have said earlier, in the opposition, seem as though they just don't give a damn. They just don't. All of them just don't give a damn. And those who pretend as though they care, some of them are running around because it's Congress kissing babies, hugging old people, doing all sorts of things to give this impression that they care. When the truth of the matter is they just do not, most of them just do not give a damn. All right, good evening and welcome to this program, Straight Up. And for those of you who are listening to us via your radio in Guyana, good evening to all of you. I know because some folks sent me an email, one family member out in West Rumvelt, Guyana. They do listen to the program every night, and they're the Samuels family. They want us to say good evening to them. So good evening to the Samuels family in West Rumvelt. What are some of the things happening? 60,000. The police, they want us to believe that they have burned 60,000, that's Kanu, 60,000 ganja plants and 600 pounds of dry cannabis. 600 pounds. I don't know. I just don't know. They're claiming that they burned that up, just like the police station burnt up, the ganja burnt up. Brickdam police station burnt down, ganja burned up, the Office of Professional Responsibility burned down. That office, part of the DPP chambers burnt down. I don't know. What else can we say? What else can we talk about? But we see here in the news also a Guyanese law student cops a Rhodes Scholarship. A Guyanese law student, Ms. Barrow, cop Rhodes Scholarship. Congratulations. A couple of folks, Bill Clinton was a Rhodes Scholar, and he went on, I believe, to University of Oxford. He didn't finish. He left, and I believe he completed his law degree at Yale University. Yale, where he met Hillary Rodham. Well, she's now Hillary Clinton. And the history behind Bill Clinton is that he was very poor, but he didn't use that as a little boy to put his hands up and give up and say, that's it, because of poverty, he cannot make it. Because his dad was a drunkard, alcoholic. His dad died when he was very little. Then his mom remarried, and his stepdad was also a drunkard. And so he was very poor, filthy poor, probably was on welfare too. And so he didn't allow his circumstances, his economic circumstances, to have him put his hands up and give up. He went on and he received a scholarship to attend, a Rhodes Scholarship, to attend the University of Oxford University. All right, so congratulations to that young lady, Barrow. We're seeing here also, and this is interesting. By the way, Lemon is back on the job. So this is interesting. Somebody's already saying that Bill Clinton is the cause of what's happening in Haiti and all the, well, we're not talking about Bill Clinton is the cause of what. I'm just saying that Bill Clinton grew up in filth, dirt, poverty, and he didn't give up. He went on and he excelled in school. He was given a scholarship to attend the prestigious University of Oxford. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Okay? Thank you. That's all I'm saying. And now, yes, Lemon is back on the job, and he is performing well. We will go in Studio 3. We will go in Studio 3 to hear from Lemon and see how he feels now that he's back on the job before we continue with our program. Lemon, good evening and welcome back.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you. And I'm back on the job. Thank you to the listeners, 107.1 in Guyana and around the world. I promise you guys not to leave anymore. So I'll be around.
You know, Lemon, we are thankful. I am glad that you're back. And one of the things that we want to convey is firing people is sometimes not the best option. In your case, you're a good worker, but there are other cases that you just sometimes neglect what you do. And we want to show you the appreciation, not only at 107.1 FM for your efforts, but a lot of our viewers and listeners appreciate what you do. But they are sometimes fed up that you just walk off the job. Sometimes you don't show up and these sort of things. Are you promising that it would never happen again?
Yes, it would never happen again. And thank you again, Mark, for the 70% raise that you give me. So I would not walk off the job anymore. I have the 70% raise, and I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah, we do believe also we have a heart at Benchop Radio 107.1 FM. We have noticed that the installed regime have given people 7%. But we here at Benchop Radio, we have decided to give you 17% increase.
Yes, I'm thankful, so I can buy my kids a Christmas gift, Thanks again for the listeners. Promise you guys I would be on the job. I would not be leaving anymore.
Thank you so much, and get back to work. We got a packed program this evening as we see you functioning in Studio 3. Thank you so much, Lemon. And
thank you again to all the listeners, and I'll be around forever.
Yeah, we heard that several times from you, Lemon, but thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Lemon there, promising to stick around. Let's hope that after Thanksgiving, he is still with us. All right, moving on. I've noticed a lot of you guys are congratulating Lemon for being back on the job. Lemon also got an increase because that is how we do things. We care about people, right? We do care about people. And when you have a government or a regime, a party in office, they must be able to care about people. And the 7% increase, or so-called increase, that we're hearing that the regime in Guyana have given to public servants, it's unacceptable. They will tell you that it is the best that they can do under the circumstances. And what they will also do is give a little top up. Just watch for that. Watch for that little top up, or this Christmas bonus. I want you to know that you heard it here first. You will hear about this Christmas bonus that they're going to give to the soldiers, the police, and the firefighters, the joint services. Watch out for that bonus of maybe $50,000 tax-free dollars to the teachers. I'm sorry, not the teachers, the police, the soldiers, etc. What we have in Guyana is a swearing regime, a hustling regime. And for those of you who don't know what the swearing regime is, it means that you swear. They are on this mission to swear people, to lie to people, to make it appear as though they care about people. Look, last evening, two MPs were on this show. MP Dinesh Jaiprashad of Region Number 6 and Region Number 4 MP Ramsarup, Ricky Ramsarup. They were on last evening. Ricky Ramsarup spoke about the way in which the PPP regime, they are treating fishermen throughout the country, and fishermen are upset, and fishermen are prepared to strike, to do all sorts of things. You heard it here last evening, those of you who were tuned in. You heard exactly what it was and what the sort of treatment that those fishermen were getting. Those fishermen. Lo and behold, guess what? The regime met today with fishermen. You see what is happening? They met with the fishermen after an opposition MP, Ramsarup, Ricky Ramsarup, and Dinesh Jaiprashad made it known to the world that the PPP has turned its back on fishermen. We know they've turned their backs on a lot of people, well, except the drug lords, except money launderers, except those who have gotten filthy rich overnight, and all these things. Those are the people that the PPP regime hasn't turned their backs on. They're giving those people all sorts of things. In fact, they're bending over more and more for those individuals, but treating the ordinary rank and file Guyanese, regardless of their political affiliation, like filth. That is precisely what they are doing. So thank you to Dinesh Jaiprashad, Member of Parliament, and his colleague, Ricky Ramsarup, for highlighting that last evening about the fishermen, the manner in which the fishermen are being treated in the country. And today, the PPP rushed. They ran out to meet and hug. As we saw the guy who sits in the seat of Ministry of Agriculture. He met Zulfikar, met with the fishermen today. So that is how things are done. You expose them, and then they become ashamed and they rush to do things. I have noticed, and let me just make this clear, because Lemon has a little bit of tight tongue. And so when he said he got an increase in salary here on Ben Sharp Radio, it sounded as though he said, what is it that he said? 70%, but it's not 70% he got. We can't afford 70% here. But the regime, because of the oil and all these things, they can afford 70% increase for public servants, but they don't want to give this 70% increase to public servants. They don't even want to give the 50% increase that they promised the public servants. They don't want to. And even though they're denying that they ever said that, and then they're saying that it was Photoshop and these things. But let me address that 70% that you guys thought, some of you, that Lemon got. Lemon got 17%. Thank you, Mr. Hall. 17% Lemon got. 17%. That's all. 17%. All right? So I just thought I'd make that clear. I don't want people to just start sending in applications thinking that Bench Up Radio is a gold mine. I wish, but we try to treat people with dignity and respect at Bench Up Radio. Sylvia Allen saying thanks to the two MPs, Dinesh Jaiprashad and Ricky Ramsarup. Thanks to them indeed for highlighting that problem with the fishermen. And so that is why the PPP rushed out to see and get that problem fixed. All right, there are lots of other issues that we want to talk about. You guys remember this, right? Thanks, Lemon. You guys remember this here. This is Orrin Boston. Orrin Boston was shot and killed by members of a SWAT team. And people are of this view that the SWAT team was comprised of persons from so-called private security agencies and so forth, right? And persons with connection to drug lords and money launderers and fuel smugglers and so forth. And so they assassinated this young man, this young businessman. Files are burnt up now at the OPR in Ivleri's compound. The OPR is the Office of Professional Responsibility that deals with these matters that involve police corruption, police killings, or whatever. Now the OPR is asking members of the public who have made reports or have given statements to the OPR to now go in somewhere at a police station to resubmit statements and all these different things. So this or that could have been the reason why the station was burned down. I don't know. I'm not going to be like Ropes and Ben to say that I know. But what is interesting, though, is the commander for that division in Region 2, Essequibo, where the commander, Denise Griffith, she is the commander for that division, where Orrin Boston, businessman Orrin Boston, was killed, was murdered, assassinated by members of a police SWAT team. Members of a police SWAT team. Right? Maybe this is why that OPR building was burned down. We don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to be like bend the truth, Ropes and Ben, but I'm just saying all sorts of things we can just put together as to why the OPR building was burned down and why the DPP chambers was targeted. Now, the commander for this division, Denise Griffith, is saying that the family members of Orrin Boston ought to get justice, and the perpetrator or perpetrators ought to be brought to justice. In other words, my point is, here is a senior police officer is saying to the police force that those policemen from the SWAT team who are responsible for the murder of this businessman, Orrin Boston, should be brought to justice, and that the family of Mr. Boston should get justice. That is what that police commander is calling for. Now, look what's going to happen now. Let's break this down. Many of you know already that you have the commander of a division where SWAT team moved in the middle of the night and murdered a citizen, maybe as a result of doing the bidding of corrupt businessmen. Maybe in the region, we don't know as yet, but the files have been burnt. So Miss Griffith is calling, Commander Griffith is calling for justice. Watch what is going to happen to Commander Griffith. Now, I know Miss Griffith over the years. I've known her since she was a corporal, since she became a sergeant, then an inspector, all sorts of things. And I know her because, I have reasons to know her. Every time I'm there at Brick Dam or wherever, she was either station sergeant or something like that. And so I know that she's a no-nonsense person. She is a no-nonsense person. But watch what the regime is going to do to her. Watch what Ropes and Ben is going to do to her. They are going to remove her from that division and send maybe Paharlal or Ramarlal, or maybe they'll send Errol Watts or one of those others there who they can control, who are connected to the PPP and who are not doing policing work, but are just doing political work was disguised as police officers. So watch what's going to happen within the next 72 hours, if that long, with Miss Griffith. They are going to remove her from there. Remove her. Just watch, and you will remember that you heard it right here. Audrey Austin is saying Griffith will get transferred to the Moncton branch, just as they have done to other very senior police officers who they do not agree with. They transfer them, they send them to clean dog pens, they send them to feed horses and these sort of things. So they want their cronies to man these divisions where they can control their cronies. Now, I was shocked when I saw that statement coming from Ms. Griffith calling for justice and that the perpetrators or perpetrator be brought to justice. Now, the perpetrators are members of the Guyana Police Force. And I salute that commander for being so brave to make that statement. She is feeling it. Other ranks of the Guyana police force, they're feeling it. They don't want to be controlled by the politicians. They don't want to be dictated to by the politicians. And this is what Robeson Ben and others are doing. Thank you so much, Miss Cooper. You know, Miss Booker, sorry. Mr. Cooper, a lawyer, a trained lawyer, who's a member of the Guyana Police Force, a senior member. He was commander for, in Region 5, Mahaica-Maikoni region, when the Henry Boy situation occurred. You know, the PPP didn't like what happened. They thought that he was soft towards the protesters. What the PPP wants is people who, like Higgins probably, and others, Errol Watts and others, who can go to protest and open fire, shoot those protesters, and kill them. Once you can do that as a policeman, the PPP would love you. Not only love you, they will promote you, they will hug you, they will kiss you, they will give you the kind of promotion to motivate you and to motivate others to go out and do exactly that. That is what they do. And so because Mr. Cooper, Commander Cooper, was doing his job in a professional manner, they didn't like that. And so they removed him. And they didn't send him to do some office job because he's qualified. He doesn't have to be in the police force. He's a lawyer now. Not a half-baked lawyer like myself and some others. Well, I don't pretend that I'm a lawyer, but some folks who haven't gone to law school pretend as though they're lawyers, right? He is not that type of lawyer. He is a real lawyer. He went to law school. He passed the bar exam. He was admitted, and he's a practicing attorney. But instead of opening his private practice to go out and represent individuals, he remained in the Guyana police force. And because he didn't do what the PPP wanted him to do, they removed him. And so he is feeding horses, feeding dogs and horses and so forth. So they put his office next to a horse stable. That is what these individuals do. That is what these vagabonds do. The PPP vagabonds do to control soft individuals in the Guyana police force, soft and corrupt individuals in the Guyana police force. You know, that protest that the coalition had when they were in the opposition, when James Bond was shot several times, pellet bullets, could have been live rounds, shot those protesters. Eddie Collins, a former chief of staff of the Guyana Defense Force, was shot. Women were shot and beaten. And who was there? Errol Watts. Errol Watts and others were there when they opened fire on those peaceful protesters. Now you shoot a former military officer in his back. You shoot an attorney in his back. And you have been promoted. And then you give the impression that you believe in law and order and you're there as a policeman to do your job. Only in Guyana these things happen. Seriously, only in Guyana these things happen. Only in Guyana these things happen. And people sit down quietly. They sit down quietly and allow these things to happen. Some people seem to think that a miracle will happen right after the Congress, and whoever wins is going to be fighter with I don't know, confrontation of the PPP. I am less optimistic about that. I don't think that people have to wait until after elections or Congress or after they're elected into office to fight. I don't like to use that word fight because these days people use fight as some sort of a mockery. When there's actually no fighting, we haven't seen a good confrontation. And when I say confrontation, I mean in a peaceful manner, right? In a peaceful manner, confrontation up against this installed, illegitimate, corrupt, and racist regime, But getting back to that peaceful protest, because it was a peaceful protest. When James Bond was shot over 20-something times in his back, pellets in his back, pellet bullets. I can't remember the amount of times, but yes, that same James Bond was shot. He could have been killed. Regardless of what we may think of James Bond or whatever, James Bond is James Bond. I've known him over the years. James Bond wouldn't change. James Bond is James Bond. He's now a businessman. He's friends with everybody. Everybody. And I notice, James Bond said when he was in his problems and the Mohammed people, some Mohammed guy and Mohammed's son called him and nobody else scared him. That's not true, James Bond. It's okay to have your friends them. And it's okay to say that your friends them call you, the Mohammeds and whoever else. Speaking of the Mohammeds, they got a contract of $750 million, close to almost $1 billion contract to build a new fire station on Homestretch Avenue. The Mohammeds are lucky people, lucky people, man. Started out very humble, selling stuff out of a donkey cart, and now they're billionaires in Guyana. They're getting lots of contracts. Assalamu alaikum to the Mohammeds. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I notice this guy, what's his name? Looney guy, critic, is always hanging out with his rich friends now. But they got the contract for almost $1 billion. They're contractors now, right? Everybody contractors now. But I hope that the same energy that you guys used, that those other guys, Shanghai and Hits and Jams guys and them, every day, every night, I look at the comment section, and maybe rightly so, y'all have a right to express your opinions about that contract with some signature stuff with Shanghai. Shanghai is a contractor now, building schools and these things, and the guys from Hits and Jams. But I hope the same energy you guys used to condemn that contract, that y'all will do the same with the Mohammed's contract now. Because the Mohammeds do not have a history of building things. They're not contractors. But I hope y'all question that as well. And run them down too. Just like y'all ran down, took a big truck, and y'all running down those guys. Shanghai and them, those guys are hustlers, man. They're hustlers. What do you expect hustlers to do? Right? Not hustle. Under the coalition, there were some hustlers too, contractors, hustlers who became contractors and all these different things, right? But I guess, as Roxanne Best is saying, this country is corrupt. And Roxanne Best will know it best because she is still awaiting justice for her son, who was murdered. The file, Roxanne, I know you're watching, the file burnt up too. So don't expect, and I'm being blunt, it might be a little bit insensitive, but do forgive me. That is what corrupt regimes do. They move into institutions and they burn Most regimes, that's what they do. Most corrupt regimes, that is what they do. Now, I don't know whether this is the case with the PPP, that they're burning down they're causing these buildings to be burnt down, corrupt policemen and these things doing these sort of job. And then they blame that little boy, that poor little boy, right? Poor little boy to confess that he miraculously burned down that breakdown police station. He pushed a sponge in, he pushed this in, and it reached all the way where some files are being kept. And guess what? The breakdown police station burned down. They want us to believe that, right? But watch who is going to get a contract for breakdown police station. It's not going to be Shanghai and Hits and Jams guys there. It's not going to be them. They got a little piece of thing, a reward. It's not really a contract. They got a reward for the job that they have done in Region 10 and what the regime expect for Shanghai and Kashif and the Hits and Jams guys them. What they expect them to do is to work. So that's payment, upfront payment, to possibly, mind you, do the political biddings in Linden. And some of you who know Shanghai and Linden know that he full of swar, right? He full of swar. I know Shanghai over the years. All Linden people know everybody and thing. And if you don't know Shanghai that well, he can even sell. He can even sell the image of Satan. That is how much swar Shanghai has. So the point is, when they give out these close to $1 billion contract to individuals who are not looking like Shanghai and them, that y'all use the same energy, or we almost use the same energy in questioning those contracts. And so the contract to rebuild or to build a spanking new building, fire station along Homestretch Avenue, was awarded to Mohammed's Enterprise. They're contractors now. They're building things now, right? That is Guyana for you guys. Beautiful, beautiful Guyana, right? Beautiful Guyana. Watch who's going to get a contract for Breakdown Police Station. It's going to be over $1 billion. Maybe I should get in touch with Crawford, J.R. Crawford. And in fact, Lemon, just let us connect with J.R. Crawford. I know J.R. Crawford is busy with Congress. Ensure you tell him, Lemon, we don't want to deal with Congress and these sort of things. We'll deal with that on some other occasion. But we want to deal with issues, burning issues in Guyana, and how the PPP is getting away with a lot of things. Yes, we are going to be joined by J.R. Crawford shortly, but I'm looking at some of your comments. Somebody's saying here, Elizabeth Arjun, Mark, please bring some solutions, please. I know you are capable. We offer solutions. Every night, that's what we do here. We offer solutions as to how things should be done. But what the regime does, because Jagdeo listens to this show, he doesn't go to bed until he finishes watching Straight Up, and then goes and whatever else he does. But he does listen to this show. Thank you so much, Lemon. We're told that J.R. Crawford is with us. Let's see what's on his mind. Mr. Crawford, good evening and welcome to Straight Up.
Good evening, everybody. How are you doing?
Yeah. First of all, thanks at such short notice. Thank you, Lemon, for ensuring that GR is with us at 55 minutes to 10 o'clock Guyana time, that is. Mr. Crawford, what's happening? 7% increase. How do people in Berbice? What is saying about that, man?
Well, everybody's complaining. And what I saw today, Banks DIH went 2% further to give to their staff. I mean, it's an insult. Looking at the percentage, when you do the calculation after the taxes, what they're doing, they're pushing some workers into a different bracket. And you're not going to have anything. At best, you're losing. And like I said, it's an insult. And when you go back and you roll the tapes, they were fighting for a bigger increase, and now they cannot deliver that. So what we have seen is it's just broken promises that they put into the heads of their supporters back then. The same thing with the 50,000 jobs. That will never happen. So until the voters start to understand that they're being duped over and over and over, they're not going to get any benefit. And for whatever reason, when we were on the upswing with Mr. Granger's administration, they choose, to turn their backs, some of them, on Mr. Granger in 2020. And this is what you get now. So you have to take it.
All right. What Mr. Crawford is mentioning is that Banks DIH has given their workers a 9% increase, not a 7%. Banks DIH doesn't produce oil and all these things, billions of dollars, but they were able to give their workers a 9% increase. 9%. Maybe the workers should get more, and I know that they will get more because Banks DIH, we have never heard of Banks DIH ill-treating their workers. So kudos to Banks DIH and thumbs down to the installed PPP regime for what they have done. But what are some of the things people are saying about the corruption and the 7% and all these different things on the quarantine? What are they saying, Mr. Crawford?
Look, the poor people are complaining, and some are afraid to have their voices heard because of retaliation. But in generally speaking, it's going to come out one way or the other. But we have to understand that the current administration always come up with a greasing plan to their support base to keep them in check. And with this 7% plan, I would have hoped that the opposition would have mobilized the MPs to go out to certain areas and to talk to the people, set the tone for the next election. Lend an ear. Do not, you see, they're constantly in a reaction mode. You have 31 MPs. Break them up in groups and go into certain critical areas. The visit there at AFC in Region 3. This was something that Joseph Harman and the MP should have, gone a long time and, get to these people, show the people that you care for them, and hence the reason for you being in that position. But again, it seems like, why bother? That's the attitude, and that is what's holding us as a group together. And it doesn't matter who or what party you support. With the financial crisis that's going on here in this country, we need to wrap our arms around everybody and show that we're concerned, we worry about Guyanese welfare, and we are going to stand up and speak out for the injustice done to the Guyanese working class. The rice industry is coming up with the same problem. People are complaining that they're not making enough money, and the raises are not there. So it's a big ball, and we have opportunities now to address these issues and to make sure that Guyanese are comfortable. But for some reason we are dropping the ball.
We are doing that. What about because last evening we know the fishermen on the quarantine and other parts of Guyana have been crying out. They have been crying out for justice, and we have exposed that sort of thing right here on 107.1 FM. Two members of parliament, Dinesh Jaiprashad and Ricky Ramsroop, were on last evening, and they highlighted the concerns and the plight of the fishermen. Lo and behold, your good friend Zulfikar from Bloomfield Village here, he met today with the fishermen, pretending as though they now love them. Are you surprised at the kind of politics that the PPP play as well? Because it's infantile politics, but they seem to play it a little better than the coalition. Are you surprised, though, that they have met today with the fishermen?
No, I'm not, because remember they are also in campaign mode too, for if there is to be a snap election or whatever the case may be. And remember, PPP is good at holding their base together at whatever means they have to use. And from what I've been told, the bench up program has been very, very helpful to a lot of politicians, regardless good or bad, because we have been pointing out the weaknesses and the cries of the people. And the PPP have been taking advantage of what we have been doing on the ground. And the coalition seems not to want to, or I don't know, they're just slow to get off the mark, whatever the reasons are. They may come and highlight it on the programs, but the actual boots on the ground is not their mark. They can't tell me that.
I mean, we already we are aware, we have been beating that drum that the boots on the ground is not there. They have tried. God in heaven knows why they no longer try. God in heaven knows why they're just not having boots on the ground. God in heaven knows why they're not confronting this corrupt, illegitimate, racist regime. Only God knows. But some have promised that after this Congress is over, that things are going to change. I don't know. I don't know. Go ahead, sir.
That is something that sickens me. Everybody is waiting for Congress to finish to act. There are people who are in positions who can make a difference. Why wait for Congress to finish? There are some people who are being paid, and there are some people who have the portfolio to assist or to reach out to these poor folks and, talk to them. Why is it that we have to be elected before we are going to say we are going to reach out? And many times after we've been elected, we go into hibernation. So I don't buy that. I would be more than surprised if after Congress something happens. If there is a sudden change in behavior after Congress, it means that there was somebody playing games with the livelihood of the poorer Guyanese, and that is a dangerous thing to do. You can't wait for an elected position if you care for the people. A politician is supposed to take care of the people because the people are the ones who elect us. Well, not me, you and I, but them. And they're disrespecting the electorate.
I don't know, J.R. Crawford, but the people, Nigel, you said it just the other night, that the people seem to have put their hands up and have given up on hope. I'm a little more optimistic than my good friend Nigel Hughes. By the way, Nigel Hughes will be on 107.1 FM tomorrow morning. That is 10 o'clock Guyana time, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. On the mid-morning show with Gabby, Nigel Hughes will be her guest tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. So please do tune in. We've got to do more than just praying. We've got to do more than just praying. I've noticed Wayne Caesar is saying here, they are in recess until after Congress. They are in recess until after Congress. Not only are they in recess until after Congress, even the parliamentarians are in recess in Parliament, but they're out campaigning. Many of them hugging. Look, I'll be honest, I've never seen most of those MPs so busy prior to Congress, campaign for Congress. I've never seen them so busy. I've never heard them talk about how much they care about the people. Many of them, or all of them, all 31 of them, are being paid $250,000 a month, plus duty-free concessions and all these things. Look, if I were in Guyana getting that, I mean, I probably would, if I were a lawyer, whatever, I probably would be making more than that. But if you are a parliamentarian, you're making $250,000 a month, and most of them do not make that on their second or third job that they have. Some of them are teachers, some of them are this, some of them are that. But the most money they make is as a parliamentarian. The less work they do is as a parliamentarian. So the people do not get their fair share of service as a result of their tax dollars going and paying those MPs $250,000 a month, plus duty-free concessions, plus they cross the bridges for free, whilst ordinary citizens have to pay. That's another thing. I think MPs, all MPs, whether opposition or government MPs, all of them should be paying tolls, all of them. But that's another story. We're looking at the time. You're about to say something, sir.
No, what I'm saying, I do hope in the future, at least on the coalition end or the PNC end, that when you appoint someone as a member of parliament, it must be a 7 days a week work. If someone can dedicate themselves to the constituency they represent, then you must look for someone who is going to be there on the ground 24/7. You can't have being an MP as a secondary position. You are doing the people a disservice, and the party, I don't blame the MPs in this at this point. The ones who select the MPs should be the one to be blamed, because you have actually selected people with limited time for your supporters. So right there and then, the supporters were being disrespected because you're not having the bang for the buck. And, you know, the ones who supported our party should be railing against this and, you know, coming out and making their voices being heard of being underrepresented in many cases. And you're saying now, which we are seeing too, that now it's Congress and all of them are out on the road. But when you have issues on a normal basis, they can't find the time. And hence the reason why we are having a disconnected group. And as they claim, the grassroots needs to be reconnected. The grassroots was there. It's just that the politicians choose not to be in contact with the people who put them in office, because for some reason, when you get into office, you become Lord and Mighty. And they're doing the whole country as a disservice when you're not even taking care of your own constituencies. And it allows the other people to run wild because there's no voice to stop them from, you know, doing the wrong things or short servicing our people. And we must only go into our societies, we must go into the opposition grounds, so because Guyanese people need to be heard as a whole and not just one factor.
Well said. Well said, J.R. Crawford. I don't know what more we can say, but coming closer to Congress time, we will allow all of the candidates, all of their support base and everything to have their way, but in a responsible manner, because we want to maintain that promise in giving folks equal time. But tonight we're just talking about what the PPPC is allowed to get away with. They are allowed to get away with a heck of a lot of things. Are you surprised? I don't know if you read the news that a company or a business enterprise with no history of construction and so forth, they've been awarded close to $1 billion to build a new fire station. That's Mohammed's enterprise. Are you surprised at that at all?
No, I'm not, because when the coalition was in office, you heard the PPP was complaining about local content policy, this and that. And now you're seeing a total reverse of all what they were saying. And no one has been looking at it. Nobody is trying to save the country's money or get proper people who, like you said, who are qualified to do certain things. It's all on a brotherhood or a friendlyhood basis. And, you know, it's a total disrespect to the people of Guyana, because at the end of the day, the monies will be coming from the taxpayers, either land tax, work tax, whatever the case may be. And we're not seeing something being just. And it's an unfortunate situation. As you know, I was being corrected. I would have said in the past couple of years, 10% of the inner circle would benefit immensely from a PPP administration. And I was being corrected by a gentleman who have pretty much a a wide array of knowledge. He said only 3%. So here you are, 97% of the people are not being respected in this country. You're building all these things without proper local content policies, proper bidding practices, and above all, people who are not into that field. How are we going to have proper structures for the monies that you're spending, which are going to be taxpayers' money? Eventually, we're going to have improper structures, money's been wasted, and nobody's going to be held accountable for it. Just
Absolutely.
like Lyndon.
Just like Lyndon, absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. I want to thank you so much, J.R. Crawford, for joining us at such a short notice. As always, you're willing and ready to give your opinions on a whole host of matters. And, that's what friends are for, real friends. That's what friends are for, to help each other in times of need. I needed someone on for a couple of minutes, and I bet you took into consideration our 40 plus years of friendship, true friendship. Thank you so much. Give my regards to your other half. Hope your kids are in perfect health, and your grandkid as well. God bless you, J.R. Crawford. Thank you, sir.
Thanks. Good night.
Yeah. All right, J.R. Crawford there for you guys. We will be back tomorrow. I'm not rushing off. I'm glad that Lemon is back. Lemon says that he is on for 1 hour. There are some times that he may go over with me for a couple of minutes, but I don't want to abuse the situation with Lemon, who is back on the job. It's got a 17% increase. And so we want to just stick to our time. We don't want to abuse our time, right? But thank you all so much for joining us this evening. Tomorrow happens to be Thanksgiving Day. I don't know, should I be on tomorrow or should I just take the day off? Let me see some of your comments. Let me see some of your comments. Let me see what you guys think, whether I should be on tomorrow or you all think I deserve a day off. Because it's not easy having to find contents to come and sit and talk. It's something I've been doing for a long time, talking to you guys. And you guys know I'm just not a talker too, right? I'm action-oriented kind of guy. Whether on the ground or not, action-oriented. I put real boots on the ground, real boots on the ground, real gloves. I'm not just sitting here talking. And I'm sure if I were on the ground, it would have been a different situation, indeed. A different situation. Let me see here. Miss McCoy, Karen McCoy, what is she saying? Take the day off and spend it with the family. I like you, Karen. Let's see what Miss Booker is saying here. Take tomorrow off. So Lemon. Somebody said, what is it? Rest yourself. Take the day off. Take the day off. Come on tomorrow, please. Let me see who's this person. Let me see who's this heartless person here, man. This person, they have got no feelings for other human beings. Miss Elizabeth, Anne Elizabeth Kit saying, come on tomorrow, please. Of course, you know, Miss Kit, you're not heartless. You're not. So just take a little bit of humor here. But Anne Elizabeth Kit is saying, come on tomorrow. Another one said, take the day off. Take the day off. I'm looking for some other heartless ones. Let me see some other heartless ones who saying, come tomorrow and work tomorrow. I may be on tomorrow because I love you guys, and we just, in a struggle, you just cannot take days off just like that. I'm a soldier, a real soldier, not a pia soldier or a Facebook talking soldier or armchair politician on Facebook or whatever. Let me see this other heartless person, Maylene Haynes, is saying, come on tomorrow. Come on tomorrow. Maylene, you're not heartless. You know that. I know you guys want me to be on. most of you want to see my face or whatever we have to say. And so I may be on tomorrow. If I'm on tomorrow, I will let you guys know. But tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock Guyana time, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Nigel Hughes will be a guest on our mid-morning show. He will be the guest of Gabby tomorrow. So he will be hanging out with Gabby and DJ Andre tomorrow morning. So tune in. You'll listen to what Nigel Hughes has to say. Tune in. And let me see here what Margaret Lawrence. Margaret Lawrence. Let me see how many of you guys know Maggie Lawrence, senior broadcaster, has been around for a while, but she doesn't look as though she has been around for a while. She looks very, very young. Margaret Lawrence, many of you remember her, those of you who are probably my age and younger and so forth. I worked with her once at GBC. I was a disgusting court reporter at GBC. She was one of the many senior ones there that had to deal with me whenever I went out and do man in the streets and so forth. Yes, I worked at GBC many, many years ago, and I was a court reporter as well. So I just jump off some coconut tree or something like that. I've been around too, and Maggie has been a good person there at GBC and other places she worked. Good night to you, Margaret Lawrence. She's saying, take the day off, let Lemon run the pro. No, that's got to be a joke. Can't put Lemon to run this show at all. Nah. Y'all want to set me up. Y'all want to see Lemon. I know that's exactly what y'all want to do. Y'all want to see Lemon. Desiree Simons, good evening to you. Look, I've got to go, man, but happy Thanksgiving to all of you, every single one of you. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. And to those of you in Blackbush Boulder, those of you, happy Thanksgiving to those of you in Blackbush Boulder who will be celebrating Thanksgiving in Guyana tomorrow. Those of you at Port Morant, Alnis Village, Philippi, Cromarty, Kildonan, and those of you in Linden, Wisma, First Alley, Second Alley, wherever, celebrating Thanksgiving tomorrow. Those of you in Georgetown celebrating Thanksgiving. Hi, Sean Williams. Good evening to you. Those of you celebrating Candace Narayan, all of you in Guyana, because every holiday in the U.S. is also celebrated in Guyana. So Guyana now has a new holiday, and it's called Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is in Guyana. So God bless you all. Have a great rest of the evening. And I'll be back tomorrow, same place, same time. But I want you guys to watch that interview tomorrow morning, right here, as I've said earlier, on 107.1 FM from 9 a.m. Guyana time, that is, which will be 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. But Nigel Hughes is going to be on from 10 o'clock, right? Just tune into the show and you'll get to hear what Gabby has to ask Nigel Hughes. And then coming up on Friday, Gabby will be interviewing another interesting guest, Terry Gadraj. Oh gosh, she has a packed program. So do tune in to the mid-morning show with Gabby and her DJ Andre. Listen to this. This is for all politicians who are watching, except the good ones. There are still a few good politicians, but this one here for the corrupt ones. And we all know who the corrupt ones are, right? God bless you. God bless that beautiful country, Guyana.
What is the difference between the ordinary thief and a political thief? Number one, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number two, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob. But you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you. Because we choose them. We vote them. We blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary thief. Is it not? But we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? Thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our joy, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame. What a travesty. It calls for us to think and think deep. The stage we are in as a country is not a stage where you become an onlooker. You have become an onlooker for too long. You must get ready to put your hands to the plow and be part of the process. It's not just about PVC, carry PVC. You must be in the kitchen where it is being determined. You must be there where the decisions are being made. If we are there in our numbers, they cannot outnumber us. But you leave it aloof. Oh, no, it's too dirty. It's a dirty game. And then the dirty guy is getting to the game of play. And you are there not showing up. And when they begin to make the decisions, you will know whether it's a dirty game or not. The result is always dirty on yours. Dirty on your health. Dirty on your business. Dirty on your success and your career. I hope that is stirring up something in you.